Hello, friends. How are you? How's today? How's life? How's your world? Please let me know, because I like hearing from you. Today, we're going to take a breather from the board game talks, and I'm going to talk to the new people and the old people. We've got dozens of new viewers from the Gen Con videos and the board game videos, and I want to say welcome and thank you, but I also want to set some expectations. Because if you're here thinking that this channel is a board game channel, it is not. I do talk about board games. I review games here sometimes, and I will continue to do so in the future. But for the most part, this channel is just random 40-something-year-old man talking about life in his shed. It's really my basement. But whatever. As I mentioned the other day, I'm not just a board game person. I'm a woodworker, I'm a musician, I'm an IT professional. I do project management and web development and application design and application programming. I play bass. I have for a while now. I love board games. I love video games. I work for a publisher. There's a lot to me. I'm a father of 3 girls, 21, 16, and 6 weeks old. Got divorced and remarried a much younger woman. Like, I'm all of the statistics. I hit all the things, right? And so this show, for the last 9.5 years, has been all of that. Whatever it is I want to talk about. Because originally the concept for the show was a sort of a catalog, I guess, for my children to refer to if they, this was kind of like my marriage was falling apart, and I thought I wanted to start putting my thoughts out there so that my kids could someday say, what did Dad think of this? What did Dad think of that? Because I was afraid they were going to move away and never speak to me again. And I wanted there to be a way for them to hear from me without feeling awkward about it. So that's how this kind of began. Over the years, it's turned into a bit of a confessional, a bit of a therapy session for me. I've talked a lot about mental health. I've talked a lot about my life and my struggles and my successes. So we will talk about board games, and as long as you keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them. That was the original concept for the show. I would talk about something, people would ask questions, I would respond. I was hoping in the early days that we would have like an audience that would start like preemptively asking questions, and then I could do episodes like we've been doing recently. You ask a question, I do an episode about it. So thank you for those questions. Please keep them coming, and if you're okay with random thoughts on a Monday through Friday, every weekday basis, keep sticking around. Keep watching the videos. Please subscribe. That's the best way to find out if I'm going to post a board game video. You'll see it pop up, and this one's about board games. I'll watch it. I tend to be very honest in my titles. I don't do the clickbaity stuff. I try to just be as honest as I can be so that you can look at the title and determine whether you want to watch the video. Again, 9.5 years of this, I have zero expectations that anybody wants to watch my weird talk every day of the week. But if you do, thank you. And there's quite a few of you that do. I very much appreciate that. So, that's what we do here. I welcome you. Please stick around. I enjoy this format. I enjoy the question and answer thing. We will talk about board games probably tomorrow. Or maybe video games. I just completed, or I'm about to complete Donkey Kong Bonanza, so we might talk about it tomorrow. Not sure. Do you want to hear about it? Do you want to hear about the Switch? I also love video games, but I'm primarily a Nintendo player. So I play games a decade after they come out because that's when they finally come, the Nintendo products. That kind of stuff. But I do want to answer a question. I believe it was Sir Bob. I might be wrong about that. Did I respond? Let's see. Did I might have accidentally responded, which takes it off of this YouTube thing. If I say something back, I end up whatever. I think it was Sir Bob. Thank you for the question. Whoever it was, he asked about the hat that I was wearing on Monday. This hat. This is a newsboy cap, 8-panel cap, newsboy, whatever you want to call it. And Sir Bob correctly surmised, he said, "Is that your bass playing hat?" And yes and no. I bought this hat kind of as that was the intention. When we started talking about playing shows, my keyboard player and I decided that we wanted to have a stage presence. We don't want to be the like dad shorts and t-shirt band. We want to actually take this seriously and look presentable and have a stage persona or a stage presence. So he told me what he was going to do. We're not trying to have a matching look or anything. So I thought, well, I would like to do maybe like a traditional, working class, look, like slacks, maybe a vest with a rolled up cuff shirt and a hat, or maybe an Aran sweater and a hat, something like that. And so the first hat that I bought for that look is this. This, I believe, is called a captain's hat or a docker hat, something like that. I like this. These are both from a company called Sterkowski. I think I'm saying that correctly. Polish company. By the way, I work for a Polish board game publisher, so I had to try the Polish company's hats. I like this hat. But it's also a hat that that's all I would use it for, is just on stage, right? I wouldn't wear this just to wear this. And so I wanted to try to find a hat that I could wear if I wanted to just wear it, and I found this. And this is, again, it's called the Chevee. I don't know what that means, but it's a little wider at the top, so it kind of overhangs my ears. I like having sun protection on. And so this is an option as a hat to just wear generally, as well as playing bass. Why I picked this kind of hat, I'm a huge fan of Flogging Molly. I'm friends with the band. Nathan, the bass player, is the reason that I play bass. We're all friends. And if you go to their shows, or you go to any Celtic punk shows, or Scots-Irish punk shows, whatever, you'll see a lot of people wearing newsboys or flat caps, and it's kind of a uniform for that crowd. And I don't like wearing uniforms. I was a Marine. I am a Marine. I don't want to wear a uniform. So I've never been one to like do what the crowd is doing. So I was looking for a cap that was traditional, especially in like my area of the world, the Appalachian coal mines. Everybody wore newsboys. And I wanted one that was a little wider. It wasn't a flat cap. So I picked this as my hat, and I've just been enjoying wearing it. Now, he also asked why I stopped wearing fedoras. I think you guys can see the woodcut up here. Maybe. I don't know. There's a woodcut that my nephew did of me with my fedora. For 15 years of my life, I wore fedoras, something like that. It was, again, part of that not wanting to look like I was wearing a uniform that said I'm this or whatever. So I've always been that outcast kind of, looking different kind of person. But the fedora became very useful to me when I was a mechanic, especially in the wintertime, working under a car that's dripping constantly. Having a full brim hat, keeping the snow and ice and nastiness dripping down your shirt was just amazing. So I became the guy in the hat. And I wore the fedora for a very long time. I wore a bunch of them. I had a bunch of different ones. In fact, if you go and look at like my early self-published board games, the logo for my company was a fedora. And I credited the hat as the graphic designer for all of my games. So that was kind of a joke. But I stopped wearing them in 2017 when my father-in-law died. My father-in-law and I kind of bonded over those hats. He saw me wearing my hat, and he was like, hey, I kind of like that. I want to try them. And so he ended up buying some hats. And then wearing that hat became kind of his thing. And he worked at a church, and they, Bob with the hat, everybody knew Bob with the hat. And before he died, he lost one of his hats in the belfry of the church. And that was kind of a story that they told at his funeral and stuff, that Bob's hat's still up there. And it just felt right to kind of retire it. Like, it became his thing, and I let it stay his thing. Like, especially around my kids and stuff, like that was their grandfather's look, right? So I just kind of took the fedora off and retired it. And for a long time, I wore flat caps, like not this kind, but I mean like a trucker cap or a baseball cap with a flat brim. So the fedora has been retired. I'm now trying other hat styles. We'll see what sticks, but I have found that this guy is super comfortable. It's wool, but it's super comfortable even when it's crazy hot outside, and it looks, traditional, but also not so traditional that I'm wearing a a stovepipe or something, or the fedora, for instance. It doesn't look crazy out of place in today's world. Yeah, that's the story of the hat. So, new people, you're going to find videos like this pretty regularly where I just talk about something random. Maybe it's about hats. Do you have questions, thoughts, comments about all of that? Please put it in the comments down below. Again, subscribe in case you're here for board games. That way you can see when I'm talking about board games. Probably be tomorrow. I got a lot of questions from you. I very much like that format, so I'm going to keep answering them. Please keep asking them. I appreciate it very, very much. I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 16 things real friends do differently. Number 3, they make time for each other. It's obvious, but in any relationship without clear communication is going to have problems. In fact, the single greatest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. That stings. That hurts. That's me. I've always been that person who thought I didn't need to say something and probably should have said something.